Hey, welcome to a special back-to-back edition of the Quality Coding livestream. I am John Reed, a technical agile coach and trainer at Industrial Logic. Mudshark is always here. And yeah, you surprised me. I thought all this time you were an iOS type person. I'm having a little technical difficulty today with my Twitch buttons not showing like how many people I have. So I've got the app going so I can keep an eye on that, hopefully. And Slim start here. Mudshark, it looks like just you. Maybe this is what I get for doing it on no. US Thanksgiving has nothing to do with it, because there's hardly anyone from the US who ever watches these. Anyway, hello, welcome to those who are watching after the fact in the non-live versions. Thank you for stopping by. If you're interested in Swift, if you're interested in technical agility, specifically the extreme programming practices that come with me. And with the folks that I learned from. Welcome, good to have you. If again, for folks watching after the fact, hit that like button and follow and do whatever. And we have a first-time chatter, NTTP. SW, hello, welcome. Good to have you. Let's hopefully these buttons still work. Okay, good. So these buttons are still working. My quick obligatory ad is that there is a fabulous sale for e-learning right now from Industrial Logic. And these modules, we call them used to be incognito. Well, good to have you. Come on in. The water is fine. Honestly, this e-learning is the best I have ever seen. And I say that as somebody, full disclosure, who has worked on one of them, but I didn't author the microtesting album. I did, in that I converted it to Swift. I came up with the Swift edition of it. But this stuff is so freaking good. And one of the things that is so cool about it is, does it show you down here? Swift doesn't have this, but it does. Microtesting does have this. It has a built-in thing that scores you. You write some tests and it's like, how did you do? So pretty proud of that. That was a fun thing to work on. So, e-learning at Industrial Logic. We are working on the Gilded Rose. And last time, well, Michaela. Yay! Now we can get the party started. Last time, we wrote some tests. We got everything under test, and it may look confusing if all you see is this one test that says test. And that's all it is. When in fact this is, what did we count? 120 test cases, because it combines all of these inputs. It runs every single combination of name, sell-in, and quality, and runs it through to verify all the combinations and checks that the outputs match. So with that, we can, oh wait, here's a bit of cleanup. This helper is doing a return. It's got an unnecessary variable here. So let me do the new thing. Inline and remove the local variable. Woot! Oh, I'm so happy to have inline. So this is a test only refactoring. Inline var. And we got it. All right. Oh, I can't tell you how happy I am to have inlining at last. And I think we might use it today. I mean, I already did, but maybe let's see if we use it for ripping this code apart. All of this code is now well tested. It's not just fully covered. We can see the coverage. Here, let's do that. Let me also hide that. You know, every time I run coverage, I don't want this thing to pop up. Let's see if I can fix this. Let's see. Where coverage, activate coverage view. Let's say no. All right, let me do this again. Michaela, you're doing a prezo at a conference? Is this in person or is this virtual? And do share like what conference it is, so that people can follow you and check it out. Tell us about it. So we've got you're right. Your first unit test. Your first little baby. I need to catch up on what you're doing on that, because I saw it's like, oh, there's going to be some networking involved. In person. Oh, server side. Darn, that's great. Nice. So, does app code extract similar occurrences when you do extract method? I think it does. I don't know if we'll have the opportunity, but like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's that smart. It does extract similar variables. So if I do like this, there you can see it's like, do you want to replace this, extract this 150 or all four? But I don't know. I don't think it, my recollection is that it is not as smart as the other JetBrains products or extract method to say, oh, you've got this duplicate code, you want me to replace them all. So we've got, as you can see now, not only is it fully green, which could be a lie, but I've really worked on making it mutation. I've done mutation testing here. So this, when I run tests, this will revert, this less than or equal to, which if you're not already using a coding font that does ligatures like that, I like it. I like it. This is the built-in JetBrains font, which I also use in Xcode. So if I run tests and I'm using TCR, test and commit or revert, and the approval tests fail, then you can see it's reverted my work. It shows the failure and it reverts. So let's go. The overall challenge of the Gilded Rose is to add a new type of item, the conjured item, and that it degrades in quality. Cool. Love them coding fonts. Thanks for sharing that, Michaela. What is the font here called? JetBrains Mono is what I use. And then in Xcode as well. Forgive me, Apple, for using a JetBrains thing inside of Xcode. All right. So we have all this junk. If the normal thing that folks do with code that they're afraid to touch is like, oh, I need to add items, name. If it's conjured, then do some, like, the quality should degrade twice as fast. And yet at the same time, it needs to honor the rule that the quality never goes, I guess it never gets more than 50. Does it go less than 0? I don't know. See, but anyway, adding more to this horrible thing, and then maybe saying, oh, well, there's a special case here if the sell-in is less than 0 and so forth. It's just taking bad code and making it worse. Michaela, I hope I did the mocking right for my network request unit test. Haha, but it worked, so that means the tests work right. Probably. And way to go. Yeah, that's a big deal. Especially networking, because in one of my earliest talks, I would say, people say unit testing or micro testing is good if you don't do UI and if you don't do networking. And it's like, great, what do we do on our phones? What type of coding do we do? Networking, UI. And so it seems that was like my intro to saying, this is maybe why people don't do it. So way to go for doing it. You're all right. So we don't want to add to this code. We need to clean it up first. How to clean it up? One thing I noticed is we've got items all over the place. I mean, we're doing this not good indexed lookup. So let's pull this out. Replace all 34. I'm going to check out your YouTube later, Michaela. Thank you for sharing. It suggests item. That's good. Hey, didn't it? Uh-oh. Froze. It froze. There. It burped. So this is an automatic actually I've been doing A wrong. It should be lowercase r. Ooh, okay. I want to keep getting better at this notation. Provable refactoring automated. So I've been doing this wrong. I've been marking this as A. It should be extract var item. All right, so now we have item. Now let's do something. Let's take everything, because this is bonkers. Is this how far it comes? Let's extract it all. Is that not how far it goes? Let's see. There we go. Let's take everything in here and extract it. What is it doing? I don't know, something. It's updating the quality. Here, we'll just make sure this works. And because it works, it asks me to commit. So this is a lowercase r because it's an automated refactoring. And now we can clean this up and say, you know, for item, let's replace this for loop. For item in items, like that. That should work, right? So this is not an automated refactoring. So it gets a bigger R. Replace for loop with for in. When naming unit tests using Swift, what's the best naming convention I've seen? Both test something successfully or test underscore something successfully. To the computer, it doesn't matter. It's all about for the reader. So I like test underscore because the only reason we have test in there at all is because XCTest doesn't support test annotations yet. What I mean by that is I would love, so here's a test that's like test all the things, and it could be all the things like that. What I would love instead is to say, this is a test, all the things. Well, we don't have that. So since I don't have that, and the TEST is required, I like the underscore, because then my eye can skip past that. Otherwise, I have to scan to find, like, where does the name actually start? So that makes it that much nicer. For each, or make it one line. But there's no for each in Swift. Is there? You can teach me if I. What if the actual name begins with test? Well, then you might have some other problems about expressing the intent. Let's do something, now for each, oh, can I do that? Really? Oh, can you see that slip in there, the semicolon? I've been working outside of Swift, mostly in my day job. Not Objective-C either. It's JavaScript. React Native. Forgive me. Really? Items for each do something? Oh. Hey. That's kind of cool. I'll take it. It does have bigger problems. For each, let's rename this to update quality. So that is a rename. And so now the rest of the code is still awful. Looks like there's some formatting issues here. The rest of the code is still awful, but at least update quality means something. Hey, how did this sneak in there? Oh, it didn't sneak in there. I thought this was the change line. That's actually the coverage line. Let me hide coverage for now. There. This is very cool. Thank you, NTTP. That's nice. Let's see. This is all kind of formatted funny now, so let me... There. Just runs... I ran Swift format, and that should be fine. That is an automated reformatting, so that is Swift format. Now, update quality of an item. You know what surprises me about this, this for each, is that coming from Objective-C days, I kind of expect that it has to, like, you have to specify where it goes, what the name, the parameter name is, but that's cool. I guess I'm already doing that also with, in this case, where it's calling update quality here with these combinations of inputs. You know, React Native is, well, okay. Stay on target, John. So we have aged brie. We have these different items: aged brie, backstage passes, sulfurous, and everything else. So here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to move in small steps a type of refactoring that is, I learned from Llewellyn Falco, called lift up conditional. Because the thing with aged brie, for example, is that it's here and it's here. So, you know, how do we pull out the aged brie stuff easily? And let's introduce an if else. Let's see. Is it not going to create an if else for me? Creates that. All right. So I'll just say if true, else. Right? So this does nothing. But this is the type of change that that Kent Beck would do. Actually, he'd start here. Say, let's add an if statement because we're doing TCR. In fact, and this is a test supported refactoring. But I kind of want to just stick with raw TCR here. Let me because I'm tired of making commit messages. So let's change this to on past test commit using the last commit message. That's why I just named the commit message TCR in there, because now we're just going to have a bunch of these. For example, if I add an else, this should run, pass, and commit. There it's in. And we can see that right here. So now it's like if, let me take this. If the item name is aged brie, do something, otherwise do nothing, otherwise do nothing. All this is safe, and it's moving in, it's committing. I could push if this were shared. Now what I want to do to lift up the conditional, here's this cool trick. Let me come back and find this bottom here. Where is it? That's it. Let me extract all this to foo. So Michaela, I avoid the main contender for third party for testing would be Quick and Nimble, right? And I avoid it. I really, really wish I didn't have to, because I love the describe it pattern. In fact, I work with the person who invented the describe it testing style. But it doesn't play well. Xcode, I should say, Xcode doesn't play well with it. It tries its best to play well with Xcode. I've also seen a case where a client, a large automotive manufacturer that I was working with, they had lots of quick tests that all broke on an update of Xcode, like all of them. They just fell apart because quick needed to be updated, and that's a danger with yeah, that's a serious danger. So I like sticking with XCTest, and then anything that plugs into XCTest works well, works okay. So the approval tests, I think, work well because they just integrate with, they don't try to play games with XCTest. They just call regular old assertions. All right, so we've got foo. Why did I pull this out? The reason I pulled this out is because I want to move this up here. This, you see what I'm doing? This is a provable refactoring. Maybe I should show you provable refactorings. If I go to Arlo's commit notation, provable refactorings is a fascinating thing. I wish they would update this. It hasn't been updated in some time. But this is something to check out. Because, for example, let's see, recipes. Is it the microstep helpers? So here's add empty else. Move line into all if else branches. So these recipes show what I just did. Here's the last line. And now we are going to move it into every, the last line into the last line of every if else. This is a provable refactoring. So it is safe. So now this will pass because it's just doing the same thing. And now let's inline. Let's inline all of them. The whole schmear, and foo is gone. So I've just made this worse, you might say, because I am increase the duplication. Hello, Tukes. The program for today is the Gilded Rose kata. Where we are doing some refactoring of some gross code. And we started with writing in previous sessions, writing tests for it all. Now it's fully tested. Now I'm trying to refactor. So I just did an inline. Michaela, check this out. In case you didn't notice. What Xcode doesn't provide for us. And app code, I've been begging for, and they finally heard my pleas to say, inline this and remove the method. Boink. And that should work. It leaves some funny things. I don't mind. Now we check the coverage. Oh, Mudshark is on it. because I've increased the duplication, but there's part of it that works for aged brie and part of it now that where aged brie goes elsewhere, right? So now I can just take everything in red here and delete. And every time I run tests, it's committing. Here's more red. I don't want to delete the braces. I want to delete inside the braces. Here's more red. Don't delete the yellows, just the reds. And here's more red. And every time I've run tests now, it's made a commit. I could have added messages to all those, but I'm being lazy and I'm just saying it passes. So now the yellows. What the heck is with item 1 here? Why? I don't know. I think that's actually a refactoring bug. I think I can report it to them, but let's remove it. I guess that's all it wants to do. I can get rid of that line. In fact, wasn't it also down here? Yeah. Number of commits is increasing. Since this is now aged brie, we know this. We can come to any yellow lines, I think. Well, we can look specifically for aged brie and say, since this is true, then this is false, right? And since that's false, and a comma is the same as that, false and something means all that goes away. Disappearing, disappearing. Where else do we have aged brie? Here's more aged brie. So this is if false. And now it's like, okay, well, I wonder if it will simplify this for me. Let's invert it. What's the easiest way to do this? I think the easiest way is with an invert. Again, something that we can do in app code. Because then it moves the empty clause down to here, and empty else, which is safe to get rid of. And now, will it offer to get rid of this? Merge nested ifs. Oh, interesting. So this goes away. Hooray, we're starting to get somewhere. If false, let me invert this. And get rid of the else. I'm running tests every time. When I run a shortcut, you can see I've got the indicator, the presentation indicator up there, which is super useful when we're doing pairing or any sort of software teaming, so that you can see what shortcuts I'm doing. So now this is if true. I should be able to merge the ifs. And now this goes away. One more. Oh, wait, so that's aged brie. All this in here. Which means I think that this is true. We'll find out. If I get it wrong, here, I'm going to get it wrong on purpose. It reverts. So it is definitely true. Which means it is now pointless. Any other aged brie? Oh, here's one more. So this is true. Which means that now I can invert it. Ooh, no, let's not invert it. Here's the dangling empty clause I can get rid of. And now I can say, it's not going to let me combine. Aw. Come on. Oh, well. I'll do it by hand. I'll just chop that out and get rid of a closing brace. And then reformat, because I don't have formatting set on save right now. There we go. Okay, so aged brie. Oh, here's something. If the name is aged brie, then it is definitely not sulfurous. So this is true. And that means that this can go away. And here's a similar one. Ooh, okay. Now we're starting to get somewhere. Now this is looking like aged brie here. So I think I would now like to extract this as to update aged brie, update quality for aged brie or something like that. Yeah, I'll do it. The else is in the way of that other one. Could be. All right. Aged brie is now taken care of down here. Next, we can just keep going. How is this? What do you think? We have a few folks here. If you're lurking, hey, say hello. It's also fun to hear where people are from. Let's do the same thing for backstage passes. This will hopefully start to get shorter. So all this and how to do this. Yeah, let me pull all this out. Hello, Megabee from Dallas. Somebody in the United States. Unbelievable. Welcome. I'm going to pull this out as foo. Foo, because I think it's going to be temporary, because I want to say in here, else. Here, let's do it like this. Else, if item name is backstage passes, right? This should still pass. No, it shouldn't. It will not pass. Ooh, that's dangerous. This will not pass. Because everything around that And so it reverts the change. Let me try again. I'm going to stick in here. Ah, thank you for the follow. Mega B, welcome. There, this will pass because, yeah, and things weren't duplicated yet. So let me first set up the if and add the else. And now move foo into both sides. I'll just give this a quick reformat. There. And now let's inline. Inline! Because we can. I need to write down this bug that leaves this item 1 and file a bug with JetBrains, as they are working hard on getting inline into production. Because this now goes away. Where's that other one? Here it is. All right, now I should be able to run coverage again and see where it's missing. So everything in red I can get rid of. Woo! I've never heard of Fig.io. Hooray for places where you can report bugs and actually, like, it's not like a black hole. I'm just removing red. I'm just removing red. The really nice thing about this style of refactoring is, you see how much I'm thinking? Thinking is highly overvalued in the coding community. Get your stuff under test, refactor, try things, experiment. Keep poking at the code, and as long as it's fully tested, you can just try something and decide if you like it. This is also a pro tip for those, if there are any of you who program as a team rather than solo programming. Tip that comes from the original folks who invented this style of coding, or maybe they didn't invent it. They reinvented it. Is instead of having debates about code, instead of having debates about code, should we do this or do that? It's like, try it. Just try it and see how you like it. Maybe try it both ways and see which way you like better. Okay, so now we can look for anything that is around backstage passes, because this is true. So this is false. And this is true. And actually, item name, where is it? I think this is true. And if I'm wrong, it'll slap me. So this is false. We're just moving down the list here, looking for, okay. Yeah, I love microtests. Oh, I got that wrong. Go away, little thing. So this is true. And this is Also true. Nope. Maybe I should think a little more. Wait. Oh, this is deeper inside something. Okay. Thank goodness. I can't replace them all. Just look for backstage passes, John. Here we go. I was wondering about that because the coverage didn't make sense otherwise. Okay, so now I can simplify further. Let's invert this. And let's get rid of the empty else. And let's merge the ifs. And let's get rid of the unnecessary true. I mean, the number of commits I'm doing right now is a lot. Here's something we can invert. And get rid of that. And if true, now we can simplify that. Here's a dangling else. So this kata moves us toward the strategy pattern, which is what I like. But what if we used functional programming? What is their alternative for polymorphism? Polymorphism. Blah, blah, blah. Is it pattern matching? Probably. It would be interesting to make a functional approach to this. But I'm gonna keep going here. It is so wonderfully brain dead. And to use tools that help me make it better. Let's see what we have now in terms of backstage passes. Is there anything? Yeah, there's all this stuff about how when the sell in date is less than 11, less than 6. And, okay, so everything in here seems to be related to update quality for backstage passes. I'm going to extract that. And now we can simplify this, maybe? You know, let me just keep going. And let me show you how many freaking commits I've made. I really dig TCR. What is a code kata? A kata is a term that comes from, it's a Japanese word that means shape or form. And in martial arts, it's an exercise where you go through specific moves to get better. It's like it's not actually fighting, but it is getting better at the motions so that when it comes to the real fight, you're in shape. They are learning exercises. Let me share my blog. If you look up kata, I've got a collection, an incomplete collection of Swift code katas for you. NTTP. there is nothing wrong with taking a functional approach to this. And as you suggest, it might even be better. I'm just going sort of the way of the shape that this follows. I have done. It's fun. You can try doing this, or you can make it even simpler and start from FizzBuzz and do a code up FizzBuzz and then refactor it into pure functional code. It's kind of interesting. That's a fun exercise. All right, how are we doing here? Backstage passes. Can I combine this yet? Oh, it'll let me. I thought I had to do this by hand. But no. Pro tip, when you look at the refactoring menu of app code, and you might say, it's not so much, especially for Swift. If you do Objective-C coding, then sorry, I have to finish my thought here. If you do Objective-C, what was I saying? Got distracted. Oh yeah, then you'll see a whole lot more refactorings available to you. So it's easy for people to look at this and say, why, this looks like just like the Xcode refactoring menu. In fact, Xcode has even more. What they don't realize is that those ones in Xcode are either grayed out all the time or they don't work. And sometimes you get lucky and they do work. But AppCode has other things called intentions, where it's like, I'm just hitting Option Enter, or you can click on something and say, what's the light bulb you got here? And it's offering merge, else if, and boom. So your question, NTTP, isn't this already functional? There's one function, but this is not what I would consider a functional solution. It's because the shape that I foresee is a strategy pattern. I don't want conditionals. I don't want conditionals. Even these, I want to get rid of them. But we're simplifying things and moving in steps. So I just have a hunch that following from here, doing some sort of pattern matching, as you suggest, would be better. I don't like ifs. Ifs are FizzBuzz. I mean in the solution code, particularly to make it extensible. That is, one of the things I love to do with FizzBuzz is to say, okay, you've got FizzBuzz, so it's dealing with multiples of, multiples of 3 and multiples of 5 and multiples of 3 and 5, FizzBuzz and FizzBuzz. And then along comes a new requirement. Multiples of 7 become bang. How easy is that to code? Can you drop it in with one line? And maybe you can, but I would rather have parcel functions out to functions that are small and take care of themselves and plug in. Again, trying to move away from conditionals. People, I think this is something that's been lost from object-oriented programming, is the idea that conditional's bad. At least they are in OO. And I think you can adopt the same attitude in functional programming to say, I should. You never get rid of them; they sort of move, but they should move out of the way. You know what I mean? And pattern matching it's a conditional too, but it's a better conditional. It's not just if else. You could plug in multiples of 7, bang, go. How are we doing? I am just about at time, but there's all this left. We've got sulfurous. Let's keep going. If you don't mind. Muchark is right. Conditionals get messy. Let's keep going with sulfurous. Same steps. Again, thanks to Llewellyn Falco for this tip. Extract foo. Commit. And say else if item name is sulfurous. End of Ragnaros. That should pass. That should also pass. Thank you, Michaela. It's really been good to have you. And now I'll have to go back and check all the things you shared, including your YouTube. Folks, follow Michaela. Okay. Let's duplicate foo, move it up, in line, get rid of the unused var, unused and get coverage. That leaves us to red lines, which we delete one at a time. Give Michaela a follow, folks. Check her out. All right. Looking for item name. Sulfurous. So this is false. It doesn't even matter if it's true because it's empty. But trying to be blind about it. On this side of the else, I think this will be true. This one will be true. And this one will be true. Now we have things empty. Hey, look, this is 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 empty. Uh-oh. Sulfurous, the hand of Ragnaros, does not degrade in quality. So that's really funny. What's down here? Here's it. Let me combine this. Merge that. And so get rid of that. This goes away. And this goes away. Okay. So, I'm going to update quality for backstage for sulfurous. Maybe, or maybe just leave it blank. I'm not sure. But I think we've made it. Let's merge this as else if, and then all this is sort of like update quality for everything else. Like that. There we go. Woo! It's funny. I'm still laughing at sulfurous because it's if you look at the Gilded Rose requirements, the specification, that is one of the things it says is that it doesn't degrade in qualities, therefore nothing happens on update quality. Oh, let's see, else. All right. So now we have these things broken down into their bits. And we could start extracting. Now, go to town on turning these into a strategy pattern. Right? Where you say, well, if the item is aged brie, make an aged brie thing that knows how to update itself. That's the OO way. Is there anything down here, I wonder, that can be simplified? Yeah, there is. Like I could say, merge the nested ifs. Oh, here's a true. That is pointless. I'm going to get rid of that. And merge them, just trying to make this better and better. And one more merge. There we go. Alrighty. I think that's a good place to stop. Let me hide the coverage. This is so beautiful. For each item, update the quality. Update the quality for a single item. This is a pattern I see a lot where things are trying to work with collections and it's like, no, work with a single thing. Anyway, that's enough. Thank you for sticking around, for your thoughts, for your conversation, the good chatter. This was a lot of fun. I've got a bug to report to JetBrains. I got to use some new features, which I'm excited about. I learned about for each. And hopefully you had fun and learned some things too. So thanks for coming. For those who are watching after the fact on YouTube or on Twitch, give this a like, a follow, a subscribe, or whatever it takes. My plan is to be here again in a week, so next Saturday. And is there anything else to say? Other than, oh yeah, follow me on Mastodon. All right. Thank you and take care.